Employee Shared Ownership Programs, ESOP, gained prominence in South Africa in the late 1980s. This initiative was fueled by the Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment Act of 2003. This act mandates companies to adopt broad-based ownership schemes, including ESOPs. According to the Industrial Development Corporation of South Africa study, more than 500,000 workers are part owners of the companies they work for. However, trade union Gewusa says this program will never work.
I don't think it can ever work because, like I've said, the key issue with the capitalist class is a control. Now, if you're to say employees get the majority in the company, one is that obviously workers would not allow themselves to be exploited in a company where they have a controlling stake. They'll use their vote and control of the company to basically do away with poverty wages, to do away with long hours, to improve health and safety at workplace. Everything that is incompatible with the idea of corporate profiteering, which is a reason business people invest and go into business in the first place.
In the meantime, the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition says the scheme has seen a significant increase in the number of work these schemes have contributed to the economy.
Equality in ways that also enhance growth and social cohesion. One part of this program is the initiative to foster more meaningful worker ownership and participation in the economy. Today, workers throughout South Africa have the opportunity to become owners in the companies they serve, allowing them to make significant contributions to those companies' successes.
But Solidarity Union says more still needs to be done, especially in the funding of this program.
There needs to be a minimum payment of 3,000 or 4,000 or 5,000 rand at least, that there's a minimum payment. But then we also want it to be linked to the company's the profit margin. So if the company makes a lot of money, there's more money that flows directly to the workers. But then the other thing that we want is an evergreen scheme, that they actually own the shares, because at the moment it's indirect ownership. Mostly it belongs to a group, a collective, but they don't own it physically.
President Cyril Ramaphosa admits that more still needs to be done as the number of worker share ownership programs scale up.
Moving forward, we will need to address key issues such as developing best practice, funding and dividend policies, and enhancing governance structures. Now, many company owners will say, but why should I give a portion of my company to workers? And there are many ways of skinning the cat, many ways of crafting an inclusive participation by those who work for the entity. And some companies even have phantom schemes where the real equity base is never denuded, and processes that renew, schemes that renew themselves even as workers exit and come in and so forth. So worker ownership must also deal with issues of black economic empowerment. It must be a mechanism for wider economic inclusion. We need to expand the reach and the impact of share ownership programs, strengthen the legislative and regulatory frameworks, and foster greater collaboration with all stakeholders. We should seize this opportunity to create networks and enable knowledge sharing, as well as improve the impact and the reach of existing schemes.
The Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition says since 2019, the Workers' Shared Ownership Program has been gaining momentum to ensure economic growth that will see less poverty and inequality in the country. Nothando Makutulela, SABC News, Johannesburg.